Opponent's going to be very unhappy with our next move here. They have no idea what's about to hit them here. We've got the Storm Chaser, Olenbrock combo. We got the big specialty coming through here. There's the Exile. Yes, I am absolutely sure. Don't mind me. Don't mind me. We'll be seeing you. G to the G's, my friend. And that right there is why Olenbrock is so spicy with haste. That is busted. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be talking about a very undervalued mechanic, and that mechanic is training. That's exactly what our creatures are looking to do in today's deck. They're going to be training so hard to get jacked and swole out of their minds to not only outscale but just run our opponents over. It's going to be a really good time, and there are some really cool little combat tricks in here that allow you to use training as a removal tool. But before I divulge all of that, if you are new here and you find any value in today's content, if you wouldn't mind hitting that subscribe button, it is a free way to help support the channel. I'd greatly appreciate that. But with that being said, let's break this thing down, play some games, and I'm sure you guys are going to enjoy this one today because it's a lot of fun. All right, so kicking things off, what's our build around? Well, the card in question is Savior of Olenbrock. This right here is a card that I crafted 4 of very early because I thought it was going to be the absolute truth. And it can be if built around correctly. And I think we figured out how to use Olenbrock today very efficiently, because what Olenbrock does, it's a 1-2 for 3 already. It's out, right? Well, what's cool about this card is it can train. So it's good that it starts at 1 power so it can continuously train, right? Well, on top of that, every single time this card trains, you exile a target creature from the battlefields or graveyard, which is also pretty unique and helpful because there are some graveyard effects that you want to get, taken care of. Olenbrock's a great way to do it, but it needs to train and it doesn't have haste. So the problem with this card is it comes to the battlefield, it's usually dealt with pretty fast, and if it does grab something, it's usually a little slow, and there's some mechanical issues with this thing, clearly. Well, we're trying to solve that today by giving this thing haste at every which way we can. So how do we do that? Well, we're kicking things off obviously with the initiate, because the initiate falls into our game plan as well, which is trying to train our creatures, right? So when you're training your creatures, you want your other creatures to continuously scale up in other ways. That way they stay bigger than your creatures and continuously allow your other creatures to train. So we've got the Hopeful Initiate as another train mechanic. We've got some really good 2-drops, one of them being the obvious of obvious. It's Luminarch Aspirant. Aspirant, whatever you want to call it. This thing is going to scale up every single turn, which is great. You put 1/1 counters on it. It's going to allow you to train with the Initiate over and over again, as well as the Savior. We've also got the Intrepid Adversary to not only scale up our whole team late game, but it's a very good 2-drop here because it's got a power of 3, which is going to allow, to train a couple of times, which is great. We've also got a Rabid Battery, 3 of in the deck. We'll see why this is going to be so helpful here in a minute, but basically this is another hasty 1/1. We've also got the Storm Seeker. So basically the way the battery and the Storm Seeker are going to work in this deck, they're going to be very key players when you're talking about the Olenbrock. So I'm going to give you an example of an ideal line, right? So you want to get out the Hopeful Initiate, right? Then you want to get out the Luminarch Aspirant, get the 1/1 counters going, right? So build up your Aspirant and attacking him with the Initiate. It's a little bit slow, but on turn 3 you should start training here with the Initiate as well as the Aspirant. Also on turn 3 you have a hasty Storm Seeker that comes out, right? So now you've got a board presence of 3 creatures. The Storm Seeker is attacking on turn 3, Luminarch's attacking, and the Initiate's finally starting to train. So you've got a pretty good sense there. If your opponent's trying to match you creature for creature, let's say it's a mono white deck, then we start playing the Olenbrock. Well, the Olenbrock's going to come in right away and get the Reckless Storm Seeker's haste mechanic, which is going to allow you to immediately attack and get value out of this. So now it's a must deal with threat. And if you're playing something like mono white runes, they don't really have great ways to deal with the Olenbrock, not until it outscales to a certain point to maybe stance it. But Olenbrock should most of the time survive in those creature to creature matchups. So we have a pretty good aggro to mid-rangey type matchup, but it's when you get into the removal that Olenbrock seems to not fare as well, because there's got to be creatures for you to exile for it to be good. But that's one way we can give it haste to immediately start gaining you some value. Another way is if the Rabbit Battery's on the field, Same kind of idea and principle. On turn 4, you play the Olenbrock, give it the Rabid Battery, and now it has haste and immediately can go in for some value. So there's a couple of good ways there to give it haste and getting it that immediate value. I'm sure you guys will see some combos here that you're going to really enjoy. We've got that combo to kind of work in various different ways during this video, so it's pretty cool. We've also, of course, got 3 Wandering Emperors because this is a must-have in any sort of white deck. It's not only going to allow you flash removal, but creating your creatures, and also it plays really well into the deck because we're giving +1/1 counters and first strike onto our things, which is going to help continuously scale our training. We've also got Thundering Raiju because it goes really well with the training mechanic. Not only are we putting 1/1 counters on things, which is super helpful, it's also got haste, and it's going to be dealing damage as well, just for passive mechanic. And then we've also got the Scalds because we're playing, Boros, and it's our best draw spell. We've got 2 stances, 2 Spikefield Hazards, and 2 shelters for some protection on our creatures, because we do want to protect the Olenbrock once it's down. And if we have a shelter in hand, it's pretty well received, I'll say that. We've got 2 Cave of the Frost Dragons for some damage as well, because we do want to be aggressive. This list is very aggressive. We're trying to basically get creatures in and tempo out, smashing our opponent's face along the way. So that's the deck in a nutshell. I hope you guys enjoyed the breakdown. We're going to get into the gameplay footage now. Enjoy that. We'll meet back here at the end for some final thoughts. Peace. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the gameplay footage, man. This is going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have a ton of fun here today because we have a exile training deck that is just amazing. It's so much fun. I'm really enjoying it. We played a couple of games with it already. We actually recorded an entirely different video prior to this one using the same deck, and I just went ahead and I scrapped it because I didn't think it was ready yet. I think there were a few tweaks we could make to make it a little bit better, and then also, sorry, I'm thinking here on my first land drop, because it's actually a pretty tricky land drop. Also, it's so dependent upon matchup which one of these I play. Also, I did make a handful of misplays that I was not too happy about, so I did have to scrap it. But yeah, guys, I'm gonna try my best to ultimately try not to make too many mistakes anymore. Got a few harsh little comments going on about a previous video, but I did take it in stride, and I'm doing my best. I'm trying to do better, and as a player I am trying to grow every day. But today hopefully we'll get some good games in. I have learned how this deck does work a little bit better now that I've played it a few more times, and we should have a lot of success with it, to be honest, especially with my fine tuning that I did. There are some cards in here like these DFCs that will help a lot, I think. Opponent's thinking about maybe removing. Okay, they're removing that. Got it. Fair enough. I have the Olenbrock, which is great because we do want to get rid of the Visionary and potential threats in the future. But in this particular matchup, I don't know what Olenbrock's going to really bring to the table if they're just running a bunch of removal. So I think Scalds is the play here. I think Scalds, hit a land, and just continue to pump my squad up. I don't know. It's tough. I don't think Olenbrock's the play, though, if I'm being honest. It's really between the Scalds and Raiju. We'll go with Scalds here. And we do get a land and a playable. Nice. That's a good Scalds right there. I don't like that we drew another one, though. That never feels great. All right, we're still going to keep pumping the Luminarch because the Initiate does train eventually. Obviously, we're susceptible to more spot removal here, instant speed. So maybe the 1/1 counter on the Initiate was the better play, but you never know. I mean, we're just walking in here blind, so we're not too sure what's going to happen. Yep, more removal here. They do exile a card, though, to get it for cheap. Does that mean they have something else they want to do? Okay, the Visionary. They're going for more land. Fair enough. All right, they got some stuff in the graveyard here. Invoke Despair. Interesting. They could be really utilizing these graveyard tricks, but I'm not sure yet what they're up to. All right, I don't like this play. I'm gonna be completely honest. I don't like dropping a Scalds here, but I don't like just equally as much throwing a free Scalds away. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's too much value to just toss away, especially if this game goes long, which it could with all the removal that they have. So more card value is going to be important. We've got a pretty good board development here, but obviously Meat Hook Massacre answers that pretty well. We do outscale Meat Hook next turn. Like, if we can just get to the next turn and they don't Meat Hook here, we can be in really good shape, because we will outscale the Meat Hook Massacre pretty heavy. Because all these 1/1 counters that we're about to receive are going to go crazy. All right. Shigeki has Summoning Sickness, so they can't do their little trickery. You know, maybe I should have put that on Rabid Battery, but... could go here, but then I couldn't give it haste. I'm trying to figure out a way here to the best way to give haste. I think this is the best way to do it. I guess we'll just keep going with the one hopeful initiate. That actually might be the better play, is making one hopeful initiate get all the 1/1 counters. That way it outscales. All right, so this is what we're doing. We're gonna give haste and 1/1 over here. And oh, you know, actually we'll do it here. That's actually a lot more value, isn't it? And that way, when we give the 2/2 counter here, is it 1 counter? It's a 1/0 counter. So when we get 1/0 counter here, it'll still be small enough to train. All right, this will be good. This should be really good. Taking this nice and slow, because this deck can get complicated sometimes in these certain positions, like this one that we're in now. There's a lot of lines we can take and a lot of unoptimized lines. So trying to figure out how to optimize the training mechanic on Olin Barak especially, but trying to get the maximum training going on our creatures as well, just all together, is a bit tricky. Like I said too, we're trying to avoid a big Meat Hook Massacre. It looks like they want nothing to do with the rest of this game, but we were trying to avoid a big Meat Hook Massacre here too, because our opponent here had the ability to drop a Meat Hook for 3, potentially 4 next turn. So we were actually in a pretty bad spot there if they had one, but we were trying to scale up to prevent that. So maybe there's also the argument that we could have tried to stack more 1/1 counters on a particular creature to save it. But yeah, we got the Olenbrock in, gave it haste right away, got the Shigeki out of the way. So I think they were struggling with their land drops. Felt pretty good. GG. All right, not bad. Not a bad first game. I hope Scalds doesn't force me into, you know, drawing more Scalds again, because that always makes me feel like that's a bad move, focusing on playing the next Scalds. But you also have this weird pit in your stomach, like, dude, I'm just throwing away value every time, and sometimes it's not the right move, but it felt good. We got a pretty good starting hand here. I mean, we've got Luminarch twice back to back. It's a good card to have, you know? Yeah, let's go Luminarch, and then we could go into giving haste with the Rabid Battery to the Initiate, or even just another Luminarch. We could just really put the pressure on here. This is a very aggressive situation we have here. Yeah, we can get mad aggressive here. Let's do this. Let's go here. Let's put the battery onto this. They both become 3/3s. We outscale the other Luminarch. We get into the face. They're mono white, but they're getting out aggroed at the moment. This is a really sick draw we just had here. Ah, okay. Root of Cathar. But hey, I mean, if it takes... Okay, they take the wrong one. That is the wrong one. We're left with the battery still, and we have the Luminarch with more counters on it. So that's nice. All right, let's go here. If this trains, it'll be a 2/3 and into a 3/4. This will be a 4/4, 3/4. Perfect. All right, this is money. This is just pure money right here. Pure money. Not a lot our opponent can do here. They're just getting absolutely beat down at the moment. I can activate my Hopeful Initiate at any time too to destroy enchantments or artifacts, which is nice because we could get exiled with like there's a lot of enchantment artifact banishing effects. All right, it's a 3/3. That's a 4/4. We go 5/5 4/5. We outscale them again, and we keep drawing land, which is not good, but I mean, as long as we can keep this pressure up, it doesn't really matter. Ah, that's brutal. That's brutal. Destroy target. Oh my gosh, that is not great. That is not great. The minus here, I'm sure.
But I'm going to end.
We still though. That's not good, man. I should have known better though. I mean, they left 4 mana open, which was pretty odd. We still got a pretty good attack coming through here though. It looks like they're gonna allow it. I'm gonna keep this a secret. I know it creates 2 1/1s with haste, but if they want to attack in and get a little bit ruthless with their attack, we can follow it up. But no, they get a spellbinder, so they get to see my hand. That's fun. All right, well, they had a much better end game situation than we did. We had the nuts on the draw, but man, we've only drawn into land, which is so unideal. It's not even funny. And then they transformed their Brutal Cathar back because they played 2 spells here. We're left with pretty much nothing. Pretty much nothing here. I mean, we can go wide for 1 damage, it looks like here, potentially. And then also whatever we draw, the Rabid Battery can get pretty interesting. Let's do this now. You never know. They might have made a mistake there by committing 2 attackers. We'll see. Any artifacts or enchantments here? There's nothing, right? There's nothing valuable there. Hey, I mean, we got the Raiju. That's pretty darn good. We get the 1/1 counter. So hold on. Did we win this game? Let's see. So 2 attackers are going to get through. We're going to get 2 1/1s through on the attack here, plus the 1 from the Thundering Raiju. I'm pretty sure we just won the game because our opponent got a little too aggressive with their attacks here. There it is. GG. GG. That was a close call. Thundering Raiju for the win, man. That feels really good. I was really concerned there that we were kind of petering out of value because we were just drawing land after land after land. But let's freaking go, dude. We ended the game strong. I just stuttered. That's embarrassing. Oof. That was a close call. That was a close call. Good old flood. We haven't had a good flood in a while, so good flood for the video there. All right. What do we got here? Opening hand is not great, but it's not terrible. We have more white sources than red sources, so drawing into another land is more than likely going to be a white source. So we could play the Wandering Emperor more than likely. This on turn 2 though doesn't feel great. I don't know. I think it's a keep still. I like the stance as a, you know, a good versatile card here. We're against Izzet though. It's going to be control, so we do have to get aggressive, I think. Oh, it's Jessica. That's a Doomscar, right? You got to think that's a Doomscar, right? I mean, I think just play the Intrepid Adversary, hopefully avoiding Spikefield Hazard. I'm sure they're not running that. Most people aren't right now, except for me, except for Mad Lads. Hopefully we can avoid that, and then we can stance when we need to, whenever they try to finally drop their Doomscar. Did they miss? They missed the land drop. Oh, that changes things. We might be able to get away with the Stormseeker here if they miss their land drop, because that's a pretty particular land they need to hit a Doomscar. They need an exact white source to hit a Doomscar, right? So I was going to play Rabid Battery and keep my stance open, but I'm actually changing my mind here. We're going to get a little more aggressive because our opponent kept a pretty bad hand here, and they need that white source off the top. They just scryed to the bottom, so chances are pretty good that we're going to be all right here. They foretell another card. All right. I think that puts them in lockdown mode. I'm going to hold up the Wandering Emperor here. Or do I play? the Wandering Emperor right now, because this could be saw it coming. If it saw it coming, I might regret not playing this now. I'm gonna take the chance to play it now, because there is a strong possibility these could be counter spells. I was thinking Doomscar, but counter spells do make sense too. They found their land. All right, be prepared for the sweeper now. So we are prepared for the sweeper. We have the stance. So in the meantime, we can actually get away with playing a Stormseeker here. Oh, I guess I should have gave that to the lifelink, huh? Should have. That was a mistake. Not that we're taking any sort of massive amount of damage, but I was just trying to spread out the damage a little bit. That's all. But yeah, definitely should have gave that to the lifelinker. White source comes down here. We know Doomscar's coming, especially if they don't scoop right now. There it is. There's the scoop. Opponent kept a really bad hand there. I don't know if the two-land hand was a great call, especially when one of them's a white source and iteration can't get you out of that mess. That was a little unfortunate for our opponent there, but we'll take it. We'll take it. Let's get some Olenbrock action, man. I need to get some more Olenbrock action. That card is so much fun to play. I think that's why I'm so enthralled with this deck, is that I've been wanting to play Olenbrock for so long. The Savior is just OP once it starts going off, especially when you start integrating haste and whatnot. It's just so good. All right, I get to go first. Love that. Ooh, our opponent shares the same sleeves as us. All right, this is going to come down to us needing another red source, huh, for the Thundering Raiju. That seems to be happening a bit. We'll see. Hopefully we drop another land here, just to ensure that we have the right color that we play on the dual pathway. Opponent's running Snow Demir lands, though. That feels pretty scary, I can't lie. That's Meat Hook Massacre, Blood on the Snow territory, and we don't like that. It's also spot removal, like that. They exile a card, though, to play that card, so, I mean, that's good. That's good value for us. Nice. We do get the red source. Do I play? Yeah, I'm gonna play the Storm Chaser, actually. I could have played the Olenbrock, which would have set up a potential exiling of next turn, but that's all assuming our opponent plays a creature. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't look like they're gonna be playing any creatures, so that works out. All right, let's play Raiju. Counterspell incoming. No. All right, let's just go here. Raiju has haste of its own. We are going to give the 1/1 counter to the Storm Chaser. I know we are kind of overstacking one particular creature here, but the Raiju does deal the damage based on other creatures you have having the counters on them, so they will be dealt out, as you see. And that right there is going to be a lot of fun, because we are going to Olenbrock that away immediately. Opponent's going to be very unhappy with our next move here. They have no idea what's about to hit them here. We've got the Storm Chaser, Olenbrock combo. We got the big specialty coming through here. There's the exile. Yes, I am absolutely sure. Don't mind me. Don't mind me. We'll be seeing you. G to the G's, my friend. And that right there is why Olenbrock is so spicy with haste. That is busted. GG's. My goodness. Oh, we just did our opponent so dirty on that one, man. That was nasty. I love it. I love it. If we could just get 1/1 counters like from the Luminarch onto Storm Chaser, we've got ourselves a hasty training Olenbrock, and it is an absolute wrap from there, man. Crazy. All right, so we've got an interesting hand here. Opponent goes first. We have some early game interactions as far as 1-drops and 2-drops. Let's get after it. Let's see what happens here. I like seeing white, honestly. White is it's a color we don't mind seeing. All right, that's got to be handled. obviously, because it shuts down a few of our plays, but not a lot of our plays. Maybe we wait. Maybe we wait. No, I don't think we do. I think we blow that sucker up. I think we blow that sucker up, and then we Reckless Stormseeker and train right away. Probably going to be seeing Elite Spellbinder here, though, which we all love and adore, right? All right, that's not terrible. I mean, it's not great, obviously, but it's not terrible. Because we will get the Initiate back at some point. And as far as creatures go, that's one that we don't mind losing too often. All right, well, if it's going to turn to nighttime, at least I can get some benefits as well. So let's go. Wandering Emperor is ready to go too, so we might be able to get a minus here on the Brutal Cathar and then get our creature back. Well, we got a better target now for the minus. Of course, it's a tap land. Gotta make things a little interesting, right? Gotta make it a bit interesting on us. Oh, that's messed up. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. That is messed up. Any other land right there would have been good, man. Holy cow. We could have held priority on their attack. Minus on the Brutal Cathar. Got back our 3-2. Made our, I'm sorry, our 2-3. Blocked the Brutal Cathar. We would have had our whole squad back. Wiped out their squad. But it is what it is. And now our opponent plays Thalia, which makes our Wandering Emperor cost one more. So that's cool. They're testing us. They're testing us with these tap lands, but that's why we put them in the deck, though. I mean, they're there for a reason. They're important. They are important. Oh, we don't like that transformation, though. That's for sure. Because now, if our opponent plays 2 spells, we're in a heap of trouble. Not really, I guess. If they play 2 spells and they end up exiling my 2 creatures here, I mean, that's just more value when we do minus. Because we will minus. Let's see what they do. Nothing. They get no plays there, huh? They're probably pretty confused on what I'm doing here by passing the turn here. There's really only one answer, so they might... Oh, you're kidding me, man. You're actually kidding me, right? I have to be forced to play my Wandering Emperor now. That's brutal. All right. At least we can still trigger the Wandering Emperor to instant speed, so hopefully they walk into that. I doubt they're going to, though. Surprise, surprise is gone. The surprise is gone, everybody. Not that they didn't know already. I'm sure that play, leaving that mana open, is pretty obvious that, okay, what's our opponent trying to do here? All right, well, we're going to lose our 2 creatures to their Brutal Cathar transformations here, so probably not going to see an attack here. If they attack here, that's single-handedly the silliest thing I've ever seen. Yeah, we lose. That's tough. That's tough. We lose 2 creatures here. Man, if only we can get down our exiling effects. We just drawing 1/1s. Yeah, this has not been our best game ever. A good squad pump is in order here. I mean, we do have some good bodies out here. It's not like they're going to be able to attack in right away and get, you know, value. You know, we do have a good squad in front, so we are going to lose the Wandering Emperor, though. I mean, they're going to go right over the top with the Spellbinder, so that's whatever, but if I can just find a way, though, to top deck something juicy here. Even a Spikefield Hazard I wouldn't be totally opposed to. There's our juicy spell. Love it. All right. That is a really good top deck. We might actually squeeze this one out somehow. This might actually be able to happen. We'll see. We will see. Come on, get cocky. Oh, they've been playing so passive. Oh, I commend them for it. but it's annoying. Oh my goodness, did they really do it? They did it. They did it. Oh, come on. They're scared. They're like, there is that slight chance they could have top decked the nuts, and I did, which feels bad, man. They're gonna hit me with the nice here, because that, I mean, that is pretty messed up to draw the Wandering Emperor off the top the way I did.
Now you've done it. Let's come off.
Yes, I am positive. Because we do get it back a Storm Chaser, which will be a pumped up Storm Chaser, so should be able to trade here with the Guardian, or the Dahlia. What am I trying to say here? All right. That's a huge turn of events. Huge turn of events. That's fine. That's fine. Things could have gone a lot worse than that. I noticed the priority holds. I thought it was another Wandering Emperor, but we'll take that. That's fine. 1, 2, 3, 4. If I hit a land here, I could activate my cave and do some blocks with the Elite Spellbinder, so that's cool. That's annoying. I didn't realize they played 2 spells there. All right, well, we do get the land. We can make the blocks, like I said, but let's make this a 3/3.
Strike fast and strike hard.
Dang. This is going to transform again. But if they try to go over the top on the Wandering Emperor, which they will, like I said, our cave will stop that attack from being able to get through. We'll kill the Elite Spellbinder. I think they see the land there. I was hoping that they might have got by them, that there's a land there. No, they see it. They aren't going to walk into it that easily. At this point, it'll be a trade, though, because they will get the 1/1 counter probably to Spellbinder. They don't. They don't give the 1/1 counter to Spellbinder. This is a very weird game, I can't lie. I'm having some weird feelings about this one. Like, I just feel like I'm being lulled into some sort of, like, trap at all times. We don't have the advantage by any means. We did for a minute there. We felt pretty good about that, but then the Brutal Cathar being able to transform again was not ideal. Not ideal. No plays. Wow, that's pretty crazy. Hold on now. That changes things. That does change things. We get that in. We give it haste. Everything trains. Probably want to leave back the initiates though. Okay, so we're definitely playing this. That's not a question. We're definitely giving it haste. Another non-question, non-factor. We do get back an Intrepid Adversary and initiate as well. It's gonna train to a 3/4, so we do avoid. We do avoid being single blocked to death. This is fine, man. This is totally fine. We're guaranteed to get these 2 back. Still think we leave back some blockers though, because we're not in a great spot for defense here. I'm not willing to do all the math, but taking 3 here from Brutal Cathar doesn't put us in a very lively position, does it? Yes, please. That's pretty helpful, I can't lie. And we're getting through for some serious damage potentially here. I have a 4/2 life linker as well, which will help me back into this game. But, I mean, we're dead here, aren't we? Yeah, the more I'm looking at the board, we're actually just dead here because they do have Elite Spellbinder and they can activate their land if they find 1 more land, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, they do need to hit 1 land off the top here in order to activate their cave. So I mean, there's a chance we survive. But if they make the good blocks here on the Savior of Olenbrock, they do steal my Intrepid Adversary again, which isn't great. But we did get net positive by getting back our Initiate. It is tricky, man. Very tricky. I kill both of these. That's a good trade for me. A solid trade. It is nighttime too, so they don't actually get to exile anything. Forgot it was nighttime, so they'll need to play 2 spells here. But like I said, if they hit a land, it's GG's. They do activate. Okay, no land. Nice. Ah, there goes Brutal Cathar's transformation. All right, well, I mean, if they attack in with the Elite Spellbinder, which is very likely, they're probably going to go face because they want me dead as soon as possible, but that might backfire because they get 2 counters. They got another Luminarch. Oh, I didn't see the second Luminarch. That just came down this turn. Well played. I didn't see that one. Oh, that feels bad, man. Second Luminarch got us. GG's. What a game, though, with mono white, huh? Long one. Why does the loss have to take the longest? It's those are the ones you want to win the most. Like, if you're going to lose, you want to get it quick and out of the way, right? Keep moving up the ladder. But when they're 12-minute games, man, it's like, ugh. Those are the ones where you're like, you have to win those ones. Otherwise, you just wasted your whole time. Anyways, I hope you guys are enjoying today's deck, man. Thank you so much for watching, of course. New Capenna coming out soon, man. I'm so excited for that. So excited for some new Capenna. I love anytime there's some mix-ups happening, man. Some new cards being added to the meta. Also, I forgot. Today, they announced a new format. That could spice things up, too. That's pretty interesting. It's basically going to be like Arena's version of Pioneer, I believe, is what I heard. But I've never played Pioneer, so I can't sit here and pretend like I know exactly what's going on. But that's a good Spikefield Hazard, I will say that. I do know about Spikefield Hazard. No, I just don't know because there's so many formats, man. There are so many formats. There's Historic, there's Legacy, there's Modern, there's, you know, there's Pauper, there's so many different things. There's Commander. It's just it's hard to keep up with, I can't lie. Hard to keep up with. This isn't bad though. I like this because we train immediately into a 2/3, so we start outscaling them. And if they do want to get saucy and keep getting this bigger, it's just gonna backfire on them. We do have to do something extremely quick here though, because if we can't get them dead fast, this deck gets out of hand very fast. All right, fair enough. Let's do this. Let's do this. All right, looking good. We got 6 damage coming through here, at least, because I don't think they're gonna block with their 2/2 or I don't think they're gonna block at all. But oh, interesting. They are. Oh, interesting. Okay. I am gonna block like this. They may get confused as to why I'm doing it this way, but it's because I have the stance. So Kami will be easily removed here next turn. And that way they can't generate treasure for, you know, more spells. So I think that's the right move there. All right, they discard another reflection to get another card. Runeforge Champion does find him a rune, but do they have the mana? Did they get a land drop? Because it looks like they might be struggling to hit their lands here. Typically the land would come down before the champion, but no, it looks like they've got a land. That can't play the rune they just drew though, so they've got a rune of haste, right? Oh, okay. Wait, it can play the rune. Is this color? Okay, you may pay 1 colorless rather than, I thought it was 1 colorless less. Okay, fair enough. All right, let's hope they invest a little bit more into the Kami, because if they do, I should have done that over there. That was a mistake. If they invest more into the Kami, then we might be able to get a stance off and stop their card draw. Just get them to basically waste mana for no reason. Reflection of Kiki Jiki does what? Creates a token that's a copy of another target non-legendary creature you control, except it has haste sacrifice at the beginning end step. Okay. I'm okay with that. I'm not okay with the Kami, so we're just waiting for a little bit more confirmation. Ah, they're gonna go grab some more runes. Interesting. Hopefully no life linking runes. That'd be great. Nope, there's the life linking rune. Okay. I'm gonna need some help from the top of my deck. I can't lie. Gonna need a little bit of help. Man, they just stopped putting runes on Kami, huh? Fair enough, though. I mean, it does come with trample already. It's just frustrating because it's like, damn, if they just would have committed to Kami more, because it's my only target here. None of these are gonna get big enough for me to care. Not like this. Not like this 8/8 over here. All right, you're gone. We take this. They gain 4. They're back to 10. They're susceptible though for a return attack, which 3, 6, 7 on board, potentially more if I can. Of course not. If I can hit a good card. That's a negative Ghost Rider. That is a negative Ghost Rider, and they are going to gain 4 again. Because I can't kill him with the Seat of the Empire, but I can kill the Reflection if they want to attack in. Maybe they pump the Reflection a little bit more, and maybe they think, oh, there we go, we got lethal. They swing in and we surprise them. That could be interesting. Kami coming back does not feel good. Interesting. Rune of Speed. Man, all these runes. How have they been able to get this many runes? It's crazy. I mean, there's a chance here. There's a chance we could pull off a miracle. We go down to 3. They're back to 7. I mean, we do have potentially lethal here if they have no more plays. Oh my gosh, we actually pulled this off. Let's go, dude. Oh my gosh, things were not looking great for us there. They were pretty bleak, but the one or two couple of you know, certain, like the Spikefield Hazard, the Stance, the Seat of Empire, these are all like flex cards that we put in the deck as utility purposes. Those came through in a pinch, didn't they? GG. All right, we might have time for one more here. This may or may not make the video, but hopefully it does. I'm having a lot of fun, so I wanted to try to squeeze in one more game here. Yeah, dude, I'm excited though. I'm excited to explore the new format a little bit. I might try it out a bit. Pioneer does sound like a lot of fun. But yeah, dude, it's crazy just how many formats there actually are. I really want to play some Historic Brawl, to be honest. Historic Brawl is basically Commander, and I really like that format. I think it's a lot of fun, but I just don't have the time. There's not enough time in the day. Don't be blue. Don't be blue. Might as well be blue. Shoot, this is gonna be... Is it Mill? So let's get him dead ASAP, yeah? Getting him dead ASAP here. That's the goal. Spikefield Hazard is a very real thing, so do we... I feel like if I don't play this now, I'm gonna regret it, because there's things like the crab that can block. There's a lot of things going on here that we need to be afraid of. Frostbite, of course. But we need to get him dead. Ultimately, that's the game plan, right? We're pretty sure, we could be wrong, but we're pretty sure we're up against Is It Mill. And the reason why we're so confident is because of the Evolving Wilds. That's a good sign that they're trying to play the crab. And so getting them dead is really, really key here before they can get the mill off. We are afraid though of things like, you know, Crush the Weak, Cinderclasm, but we're out of range of Cinderclasm, so that's nice. Crush the Weak, I believe that's 2 damage across the board as well, so I think we're actually out of the range of those, so that feels good. Well, if they're using the Field of Ruin on turn 3, they're in a lot of trouble. That's a pretty weak turn right there. Oh yeah, they're in trouble. It already has haste, I'm aware, but okay. Okay. But I was gonna put the 1/1 counter here, so I was just trying to spread the damage out evenly as best as I could. And that's a scoop. Yeah, they did not find what they needed there. They must have had a really pretty good hand though. I'm sure they had things like Tasha's laughter in hand and whatnot, probably a couple mill spells, but they didn't find their lands and they had no crabs. So that's probably why they kept it too. Anytime you have an iteration in hand on turn 2 with no lands or something, you can usually fix that problem pretty easily. But GG's, man. Let's go ahead and wrap this thing up with some final thoughts. And that will conclude the gameplay footage of today's video, guys. Thank you so much, so much for hanging around this long. If you can hear the sound of my voice right now, you guys are absolute all-stars, because you guys are actually helping the YouTube algorithm when you stay this long in these videos, and it helps push my videos out to more people and helps the channel grow. So thank you for that support. With that being said, though, let's talk about the list a little bit. So typically on all of these videos, I like to really nitpick and break down these decks and talk about things that we can substitute in or out and do better with, right? I have no gripes about this thing. I absolutely love this thing, man. I don't know how we could stick to, let's say, the training mechanic and change things out here and there to make it any better, because I do think what we have here for what we're trying to do with the Olenbrock, this is the best way to do it. I'm convinced that this is the best way to do it. There are some things that I have tried in this build prior to this video when we shot it the first time around, and Angel Fire Ignition is a pretty sweet card. This card comes in and it gives your creatures haste as well too, so it does play into the whole get the Olenbrock down, give it haste, but that's not till turn 6. So that one didn't really make the cut, right? Because it just was a little bit slow. But also it does give you lifelink, which does help in those little, you know, tit for tat games where you're getting exiled by Brutal Cathars and things like that. So that is one thing that you could consider. You could also consider a little bit more spot removal. Fateful Absence, you saw. No, you didn't see, but Fateful Absence is a card I can see being played in the deck. Various stance, you can add a couple more of these. This thing's come through clutch many times. You guys saw just how good Spikefield Hazard can be, because not only does it hit those, you know, visitors, it also hits Thalias. This thing hits other Luminarchs. It also hits you know, mono black stuff. So this is a really good removal right now. The only thing that felt a little bit off and not as good as I thought it might be is the battery, but at the same time, the battery has had some really clutch moments where we play the Initiate, the Luminarch, followed by another Luminarch, and we just keep trading the battery over and over to the next creature, giving those things haste, kind of like a Reckless Stormseeker ability. So that was kind of cool. Yeah, ultimately, guys, I don't think this thing needs to be messed with too much. I think it's pretty good the way it is. But as always, before I, you know, conclude this video, I'm going to leave it to you guys to let me know your comments down below in the, you know, the comment section. Not only does that help with the engagement here on the video, but also I do read the comments. I don't respond a whole lot of times because I'm super busy, but I do get the notifications. I do read through them. And if you guys have any ideas on how to make this thing better, by all means, definitely let me know. If you guys want to join the conversation in the Discord, we do have a Discord and a link down below as well. All of this is in the description. But yeah, guys, that's going to conclude today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Before I get out of here, as always, huge shout out as always to the Mardu Mob, man. The Mardu Mob. These guys are the best, man. These guys are the cornerstone and backbone of this channel. I say it all the time. I can't do this without them. Their support means the world to me, and I I gotta express my gratitude at the end of every video for these guys, man. Thank you so much for being part of the Marty Mob if you are. And if you're not and you want to become part of the Marty Mob to help support the channel, you can do that by hitting the join button down below, or there's a link in the description if you don't see the join button. But that's going to do it, guys. I appreciate your time. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and we'll see you guys back here on Monday. Till next time. Peace.
Hit him 3 times like a hat trick. Yeah. The name is Swayze, no Patrick. If you play him, then it's tragic. Hit him with the mythic, yeah, that's magic. Yeah, MTG, that's what you'll see if you like and subscribe. With the upload, man, man, all of the time. Coming with the best decks, this is the meta. This ain't cheap, yeah.